Hey guys, it is a beautiful October morning. It's a Saturday, which is usually when I get a lot of my gardening work done. And it's one of those throw your hair up in a messy bun and just call it good kind of day. Today, I'm going to be harvesting sweet potatoes from my straw bales. This is the first time I've ever grown sweet potatoes in the straw bale garden method. Tomatoes work fantastically in that method, but this is the first time I will be trying sweet potatoes. 2 weeks ago today, I harvested my sweet potatoes from my ground bed. And then last year, if you remember, I also compared my ground bed sweet potato harvest to containers, which were grow bags, and also raised beds. So this year, I decided to throw another option in the mix and grow sweet potatoes in my straw bales. Now, I only grew 2 plants, 2 different types of sweet potatoes, so I'm really curious to see what the harvest is going to be, especially compared to the other methods. So let's go out to the garden and see what we find. Here we've got the straw bales. You may remember this was full of tomatoes, and in 2 straw bales I added some sweet potatoes. The rest of them I did cantaloupes, which were fantastic. I know cantaloupes work well with the straw bales, and this is a cover crop of buckwheat here. So right here, this is one type of sweet potato. This is I think a Beauregard. It's a pretty typical sweet potato to grow for my area here in Arkansas. And this over here is another type. This is one plant. Yeah, sweet potatoes can spread everywhere. I'm not quite sure what type of sweet potato this is. It's more of a red sweet potato, but you can see that the leaf shape is completely different. So I am not quite sure. But these I've been growing for the last 3 years, both of them actually, and saving seeds from the sweet potatoes. I'm just really curious the difference in the yield, because you can see how much of a monster that plant is compared to this one over here. So let's dig in. By doing this, I'll be able to find where the mother plant actually is. Oh, I think I found it. I like to get all the vines out and then harvest. So this is the mother plant. Wow. Oh goodness. I guess I harvested that too late. I've never had a sweet potato do that before. Guessing that's why. That's a good size though, right there. That one is. Do we have any more? I'll be really disappointed if that's all we got. Oh, looks like we do have some more. Oh, that's a decent size. I love this size for sweet potato nachos. Holy cow. Oh, that one split too. I guess I learned that I am harvesting too late. None of this happened with my ground bed 2 weeks ago. That's interesting. Oh, but look at that. Look at that. There's no soil in this. All this is from the composted straw bales. I mean, it really did turn into soil. That is awesome. I think that's it. Well, that was a disappointment. And because of this color, this is actually the color of the other kind. I wonder if this was actually from the other plant. We will see. You may remember me telling you that these were planted in between tomato plants. You probably know that tomatoes and potatoes don't need to be planted together, but sweet potatoes are of a different family. And so there wasn't any problem. In fact, I think that they were really good companion plants. Oh my gracious. Holy moly. I've never seen this before. Oh, that's frustrating. More chicken food, I guess. Oh, wow, that's frustrating. Goodness. I just waited way too long to harvest these. Oh. Look at that. Are there any edible ones? Now that one's good. That one's a good size. Yeah, you can tell the younger ones are just fine. And what that tells me is this was not the problem of the straw bale necessarily, or most likely was not. It was the fact that I let them be in here way too long. Yeah, see, this one's already growing slips for a new crop. Yeah. I let them grow way too long. Interesting though, I did not have this experience with my other harvest 2 weeks ago. Did 2 weeks make that big a difference, or did they just grow faster in the straw bales? I'm tending to think they just grew faster in the straw bales because of all this rich organic matter. Oh, wow. Another one. Oh, that one broke off. Okay, good news here is with properly curing this, this will actually scab over, so I'm not too worried about that. Got some more here. Okay, these are making me feel better that this wasn't an entire waste. Oh, there's another one. Do not feel anymore. So, I think that's it. In growing my sweet potatoes in straw bales this year to compare to my ground beds and then raised beds and grow beds in the past, I'd say I learned quite a bit. As you saw, I think the biggest lesson that I learned was don't wait so long to harvest, because, I mean, look at these, crazy. Also, I learned just because we got so many good quality sweet potatoes from these straw bales, especially the second planting, I learned that you can grow sweet potatoes in straw bales and grow them well. Also, in digging in the straw bales, I was able to see what a rich source of humus that was and how good straw bale gardening in general is. I've seen it with my tomatoes and my cantaloupe. Now with sweet potatoes, I look forward to trying this method for lots of other vegetables in the garden as well. Now, as far as how I'll grow sweet potatoes in the future next year, a lot of it probably just depends on what garden space I have available. If I have room to grow them in straw bales, or if I grow them in raised beds or in the ground. They're such a flexible and versatile crop for me. So I think it'll just depend on what my garden layout ends up being next year. But overall, I think that this was a great experiment, and now I'm headed into my greenhouse to get these cured, and then we'll be able to have these sweet potatoes all year. And chickens will get a treat as well.